like we want to hit the big time.
You're already big stars. Why, everyone loves Scooby-Doo.
On December 23rd, 1979, Warner Bros. Released an hour-long primetime television special that shook up everything we know about Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. I recently revisited Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood and it's way better than I remembered. Most of my community either forgot that this movie exists or doesn't really enjoy it. And in today's video, I'll be looking at this musical-based parody on the Scooby-Doo formula and of Hollywood at the time, and finding out what makes this such a forgotten classic. Before we get into the movie, I want to get this out of the way. Nothing in this movie has anything to do with any Scooby series. It is hinted, however, that the gang are actors and all of Scooby-Doo Where Are You was just an in-universe Saturday morning cartoon. And just for the case of this movie, we will say that that is true, but it's probably not, because we don't know, as this movie was more of a love letter to everyone who's ever worked on Scooby-Doo during this time, and it does such a great job at that. Sure, there's no true villain, even though some say Shaggy is, but we'll find that out later. And with that said, let's get into this retrospective on this classic movie. During this time, Hanna-Barbera made a ton of primetime television specials with a bunch of their cartoons. And one thing that they all had in common, and that most point out about this Scooby special, which is also the only primetime special that they made for Scooby-Doo at this time, is that they all have random placements of bouncy and fluid animations instead of the low-quality stiff animation that we're used to, which is a big reason people remember this one. Alright, let's get into this Scooby-Doo feature. Our special begins like any other Scooby mystery, with a creepy aesthetic and Scooby and Shaggy in a haunted mansion, being attacked by a giant crabby monster who sticks them in a trap door, and off they go through the movie set in a barrel. Yep, all of this was part of them filming their Saturday morning cartoon.
Got it! Printed! That's a tape!
We see the rest of the gang on their way over to the set discussing their scripts, where we see the boys land, with Shaggy being tired of always doing the same routine every episode, and Shaggy comes up with the bright idea to make Scooby a movie star. In our first of many musical scenes, Shaggy and Scooby are going throughout different movie sets, so everyone will remember Scooby-Doo.
The name to remember is Scooby-Doo! We'll star in a movie! We'll be on TV!
Millions of people just looking at me.
They even reference a later Scooby movie that isn't even a Scooby movie, Scooby-Doo and Arabian Nights. Then we get our title card, Without the Doo, which was added as the name of this special on home releases. So instead of Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, it's Scooby Goes Hollywood. The boys head over to network office, with everyone they interact with along the way noticing Scooby as the celebrity that he is, much to Shaggy's surprise.
Hi, Scooby. Oh, go right in. So good to see you.
Thank you.
And who are you?
I'm with him. I'm Shaggy.
Shaggy becomes Scooby's agent for this appointment with the network president, and he tells Scooby all the right things to say as they enter, with the president going crazy over Scooby.
Yes? Scooby-Doo! Scooby-Doo!
Shaggy talks with CJ as Scooby tries and fails to set up the film reel titled How Scooby Won the West, an obvious take on how the West was won, a 1962 Western. In Scooby's Western, him and his partner Shaggy are putting up wanted posters when the guy on the wanted posters shows up and attacks Sheriff Scooby. And of course, Scooby runs off the set on a horse, destroying the entire film set. And CJ's whole mood swings as he takes this as a joke. And to show that they are serious, Shaggy and Scooby go back to their dressing room to tell the rest of the gang they're quitting.
But you are a star. What more could you want?
A pretty fun and strange fact is that this special is the last time that we hear Pat Stevens voicing Velma, as she left the role during the end of the Scooby-Doo show, and she got replaced by, well, Velma's worst actor ever, which hints that this special was being made way before the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show in the mid-1970s. And also, as we'll see later, some of the background music and the end credits are the same as the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo backing track to the special. Shaggy reassures the gang because Scooby will be playing so many cool roles, but the gang still don't like the idea. We then go to a roller rink to shoot another pilot with Lavon called Lavon and Scooby, which is again a pun on Laverne and Shirley, another series of the time. They begin filming, but Scooby isn't the best in skates, but they do make it work for a bit until he flies off and flies back on into Lavon, and the camera crew with the gang watching all of this happen. And so Shaggy and Scooby go back to CJ, telling him the pilot didn't really work out, but they have another one to show him, Scooby Days. I wonder what this one is referring to. And we get sent back to the 50s where the Scoob meets the Groove and have a dance-off with the Groove's voice actor Frank Welker singing our next song.
You look like an okay dude. A Ruby-Doo guy. A Ruby-Doobie, Scooby-Doobie, Ooby cool guy. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
This one is fine, but it overstays its welcome to get the runtime up. Scooby becomes a hotshot just to break the jukebox, and CJ cannot believe this, so he excuses himself. Scooby's fine about going back to his old show, but Shaggy is now obsessed and takes over, showing CJ a contract which he destroys once they leave. After that, Shaggy sets Scooby up to talk with the celebrities at a fancy restaurant, so Scooby, all dressed up, goes in and wrecks the place, because 1, he's a dog, and 2, food. And CJ hears about it in the paper.
I am not happy.
Right, CJ. Not happy.
Now Shaggy is desperate, so he makes Scooby go to the Hollywood pool to do some tricks for attention, and of course, that didn't work. Back at the gang's dressing room, they're reminiscing on Scooby and wishing he would come back to the show, and we get some more lore about how the gang got Scooby, which, unless we only attach a special to Scooby-Doo Where Are You in the Scooby-Doo show, it's not canon. We get to see the gang getting Scooby from the pet store and his first birthday party and some fun scenes. Fun fact here, besides the fact that Frank Welker voices the young Scooby in these scenes, which as we all know, he voices Scooby-Doo years later. We also see a Shaggy looking dog that Shaggy throws some shade to, and this could be me overthinking it, but this dog definitely resembles the Archie's dog character, and Scooby-Doo's original design was gonna be that, so it could be a reference. After that little nostalgia fest for the gang, we get one as we go into our next, and for some reason it used to be my favorite song of the special, Scooby-Doo, We're Missing You, which is literally just the new Scooby-Doo movie's backing track with new lyrics. But the real reason I like this one, and also for the sake of our theory, is back when I first got this DVD, I didn't have much Scooby-Doo Where Are You content, so seeing all the clips of Scooby-Doo Where Are You really helped with the lack of Scooby-Doo media that I had, I guess. And yeah, this whole song is just a bunch of clips of Scooby-Doo Where Are You, but this could mean, and here's my theory, Scooby-Doo Where Are You and the Scooby-Doo show were all part of the in-universe Saturday morning cartoon that the gang in this universe acted in. But it's just a theory.
But who would have thought Scooby would go Hollywood on us?
Scooby is starting to break due to Shaggy trying way too hard to make him become a star. And Scooby falls asleep and gets a crazy fever dream in which Scooby becomes a star and goes to the premiere of 2 of his movies. A Superman movie where Scooby is the superhero protecting Big City. Yes, the same Big City from Scooby-Doo and Dynamite. Video here. And The Sound of Scooby, which in a very funny scene, Scooby falls to his death and wakes up from his dream turned nightmare. Scooby wakes up and Shaggy goes to call CJ, and Scooby gets stuck in a concrete slab when he was trying to put his name in it. And CJ tells Shaggy that they're doing auditions for dogs to replace Scooby, so Shaggy and Scooby and the concrete slab go over to the auditions. Once they get there, they hide out in the back laughing over how silly this whole thing is, until a dog actually gets hired.
You're hired.
Hired?
You think that did the trick?
Some pretty good animation during this scene too. The boys head back to CJ's place to show him another film reel, Scooby and Sherry, where they perform a magic act, and of course everything goes wrong and CJ is literally crying. But it's not over. We have a disco music video type thing, and it's great! From the song to the animation to the visuals to literally everything about it. It's amazing for 1979 animation.
Other things about you, Scoop, I don't really think. Oh, now I love you, Scooby.
Shaggy then skips along to the next reel, the Love Ship, where we see Captain Scooby on his ship as they set off, but he didn't untie the rope, so they take the dock with them and CJ cuts them off there. And his men come in to give a solution, and CJ actually likes it. So Scooby goes onto a talk show to confirm that he's being replaced, with his fans listening in. Shaggy tells everyone that Scooby is gonna be a star and all that, but his fans aren't happy that he's leaving, so all the children around the world protest. Shaggy and Scooby come back to CJ with one more film reel, Scooby's Angels, which of course is Charlie's Angels, where we see Scooby's Angels find the criminal hideout with Scooby parachuting down to help, until the actual Scooby watching it yells cut, with CJ agreeing, telling Scooby that he should go back to his Saturday morning cartoons. But Shaggy wants the big time, but CJ reassures them that they already are the big time by opening his glass door and showing all the fans in the gang outside chanting for him to come back. Scooby is so happy and CJ asks him to come back.
I'll do it for the kids, for my fans.
What an actual heartfelt ending. I really enjoy it. Shaggy isn't done with CJ yet though, because what's better than Scooby? Shaggy!
Like, I just thought you might like to take a look at my pilot, CJ. Mork and Shaggy, huh?
CJ is left speechless, and Shaggy gets kicked out just as the rest of the gang leave in the Mystery Machine, and Shaggy chases after them, being covered in his own film reel.
Scooby-Doo.
And that's Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood. It's amazing. Sure, it's kind of repetitive and a little corny, and of course it's not really a Scooby-Doo film, but I like it for what it is. And it's an amazing love letter to the franchise at this time, showing how far they got and how much the fans really do care about Scooby-Doo. But remember in the beginning of the video when I said there's actually a villain? Well, the Scooby community thinks that it could be Shaggy, and I definitely agree. Shaggy manipulates Scooby throughout the whole film and makes him do stuff he really doesn't want to do, and it's super obvious upon rewatch. But I guess the movie wouldn't be what it is without Shaggy doing some pretty evil stuff, like making Scooby leave the gang and making all his fans really upset over it, all for fame, which makes him really unlikable in this film. On top of that, this film is super meta for the time, being an in-universe version of Scooby-Doo, making cartoons or something. It's pretty crazy, and it kind of talks about the franchise itself with the whole need for change for Scooby, because his show was getting stale and repetitive, which sounds a lot like them adding Scrappy into the picture a few years before this film for Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. I highly suggest you watch this one if you haven't already, and I really wanted to talk about this one on the channel because of how nostalgic it is to me personally, like I said before with the Scooby-Doo Where Are You clip scene, that I really liked. And I also really enjoyed just how different this one is compared to anything else Scooby-Doo has made. This special was such a shake-up, and it was a good start to Scooby-Doo switching things up during the 80s with the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and over the course of the franchise with some strange incarnations, which shows how experimental Scooby-Doo can really get. And it shows in our modern era of Scooby-Doo, where HBO and Warner are wiping Scooby from any streaming service, which really shows that we should be with the franchise like the fans were back in this movie. Speaking of which, if you made it this far, let's talk about the whole HBO wiping cartoons thing. I was gonna make a video on this, but my guy Zal already did, so check out his video for more detail. But basically, if you don't know, HBO kinda was the hotspot for Scooby content after Hanna-Barbera's streaming service got canned a year ago. But now HBO is losing all of the rights to Scooby-Doo for some reason, and a bunch of other cartoons, so physical media is definitely your pal for Scooby content right now. Anyways, what do you think of Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood? Just give it a chance and don't think of it as a Scooby movie. This is one of a kind, and that's why I'll put it super high up if we qualify this as a Scooby-Doo movie. Anything else, let me know in the comments down below, and that'll be it for today's video, so consider subscribing to join this cartoon community, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
It's Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood
I'm really cool.
in an all-new to-video feature-length animated movie.
There's no other dog in the world like Scooby-Doo.